Hello, hi Capricorns, hope that you're gorgeous and well, and welcome to my channel. This is your December love horoscope for 2018 if you're a Capricorn. And how I do my readings is with the help of my spirit guides. I'm a psychic, so this might be a little bit unusual to the usual tarot readings that some of you might be looking at, but I interpret the information that I get from my guides, and that's how I do all my work. If you'd like to know more about me and my services, the links are just down below. And thank you that you're here also. And can you believe it's the end of the year? So right, lots to say to you, Capricorns. What my guides are firstly saying here is, obviously when you get to December, you've had time now of pretty much having Saturn in your sign heavily, which is your ruling planet for the first year. You still have one more year of it being in your chart. And Saturn is a tough planet to have in your chart unless you are a Capricorn. It's still tough. It's almost like tough love. It kind of makes you go through situations that feel really difficult, but are for your very own good. It's like a parent that you love to hate. Well, let's just say my guides are saying here that December is a month for you reflecting and perhaps coming to the conclusion that even though you've had some difficult, challenging periods this year, romantically, for some of you downright diabolical, you've overcome it, you've seen the light, and you're in a different place. I get a lot when I've been doing these readings this month about people understanding their own power and their own purpose, and you Capricorns certainly do understand your own power and your own purpose in this month. And what's ironic about it is somebody that you have discarded, or somebody that you've ended with romantically, or somebody you've even had to deal with romantically, an old ex, you suddenly realize you're in a different power position than what you once was. And I think I've used this story before because it's the only sort of analogy that I can give from my own life. Once upon a time, I used to date a guy, and he used to work for the Queen. And when I first dated him, I was a lot younger, and he looked like he, had a job with, a nice house, and he had loads of money. And I just thought, we're a bit out of whack in terms of like I'm not in his league a little bit. That was my thinking back then when I was in my young 20s. And then later on, because we had this kind of relationship for a long time, when I sort of met him again and had the opportunity to kind of like possibly be back with him, the status has changed, that actually I was in a different position, and where he wasn't, he was still doing the same job, but actually my perception over it was very, very different, because I was in a different position, different status, different everything than when I first ever met this person. And this is what I'm trying to explain with you guys. It's almost like you recognize now that you were better than, more than, don't need them. You almost see, dare I say it, and I don't say this lightly, their patheticness. Sorry, that sounds like a really horrible thing to say, but that's how it's coming across, and I can only say what I'm being shown. You almost see that this person that you once held up as being so good or so everything is now not that in your eyes. And I tell you why, because even if you're in a new relationship, or if you're single right now, or even if you're loved up, there's somebody bubbling up. And it doesn't surprise me, because it's a Mercury retrograde, and you know how people like to creep out of the woodwork from our past. But there's somebody from your past, and I want to say somebody that you dealt with this year already in your past, that's going to resurface and wants to try to impress you. And I have to say, you are going to think they are barking mad, because it's almost like you either haven't seen them for ages, or perhaps even the last time you saw them, you told them, I'm not interested. Or because of what's happened between you, you're just like, is this person for real? Do they really think that I am that silly to want to be back with them? And you're just like, it's almost like you see their manipulation, or you see their, again, dare I say it, their patheticness, that it doesn't wash anymore. And maybe there's a realization that it just shows a difference in how much mentally you've come through something. And this is what Saturn has been trying to teach you a little bit this year, that you need to see things from a different perspective, not just romantically, but also for all areas of your life, so that you can get a different perspective, so that you can manifest what you really at your core been trying to manifest in your life. Now, this doesn't have to be necessarily romantic. If it is, then you're on the right path for sure. But even if it's not just about romance, there's more things for you, you are certainly now on the right path. Why? Because you're in a position to look at yourself differently and look at people and relationships differently and understand that you are worth so much more than perhaps the energy that the other person made you believe. And so in this month, this is about reflection for you when it comes to love. This is about self-nurture. So there's a lot of people who will be, if you're Capricorn, maybe beautifully selfish, even if you are in a connection. It is going to be very much about the self. What do I want to do next year? Where do I want to go? How do I, move from where I was to something where I feel like I'm making progress, that I'm held up on a pedestal, not held back. That's what I want. And even if you do happen to be in a connection with somebody, this other person certainly reminds you that you are more worthy. But also you just behave in a way where people around you, even new love interests, even your current one, start to see you the way that you see yourself. Because often we forget that life and the way that people interact with us is a reflection of what we believe in our core in how we should be treated. So quite often I get asked by some people, why does that person treat me that way? And the real truth, it feels like a very blunt answer, is because we allow them to, and because we believe that we should be treated that way. When you start changing your inner beliefs, which is what Saturn's trying to do with you guys, everything changes. And that's why this reflection in this month when it comes to your love life is so exciting. Because you guys are going to start to become on fire. You are going to become the very embodiment, and I can say that to you Capricorns, you are going to become the very embodiment of Saturn. If you want to know, I would suggest you look up what Saturn's energy is. It's a little bit of a tough tornado, but that is who you are going to be in 2019. You're going to be very similar, I think, to slightly an Aries. You're going to have this fiery ramming glow about you all year that gets things done one at a time. That gets done, bam. That gets sorted, bam. Everything gets sorted. You're in charge, you're taking control. Everything starts moving in your direction. Why? Because you are leading it. You're leading the ship. You are the captain of this ship, your own ship. But you believe in yourself so much differently than perhaps you did before, where you believed to be treated a certain way, that perhaps you were too kind, and people took advantage of that. There's very much this theme in December about what's happening to empower people. You are no different. In fact, you're a force to be reckoned with. Keep that sense of empowerment that Saturn, your ruling planet, is sitting with you for the last year that it will be with you in 2019, because it's going to see your wishes come true. Think about what your core wish that you want to achieve, that perhaps you've been trying to do for a really long time. This can be as big as, a big contract, or this can be as little as, I just want to move house and have, 3 bedrooms instead of 1. Whatever this is for you, you are going to achieve by the time 2019 is over. I get you are on the path from this month of having your wishes come true. Romantically, you will only want to be with somebody who wants to put the work in with you. And I have to say, Capricorn, some of you would rather remain single than be with somebody. And that is totally fine. Sometimes people think being single is a bad thing. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that there is lots to finding oneself in singularity than pairing oneself off. It's a time to just rediscover yourself and get things done. And this is what's coming through you loud and clear. And anybody that you do pick up will only have to match that energy, because again, it's a reflection of you. So December, when it comes to your love life, is deep, I think, in terms of you steering your own ship the way that you want it to go, powerfully, magnificently. And I think actually that power is going to be rather alluring. Sometimes when we don't want something, it's when everybody else wants us. And it seems very, very much the way it's going to be from December going all the way to next December. And I really, really hope that helps you, lovely Capricorns. Again, if you'd like to have a private reading, all the links are just down below. And I will see you here again next month in January 2019. Take care. Bye.